Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I am going to be talking about toxic relationships. I don't know why I'm smiling because it's not funny. But yes, I am going to be talking about toxic relationships, as you can see in the title, and basically the signs to know you're in a toxic relationship. So if you want to know, then keep watching. Okay, so welcome back guys. So I decided to do this video today because I just seen a couple of things that has been happening around, and I thought that it would be nice for me to share this information in the hopes that someone out there can pick a couple of things from this video and just learn from it. And I will be sharing information based on experience because I have been in one before. Thank God I'm out of that now. I have been in one before, and second, just things I learned about it, after I stepped out of it, because in most cases, for most people, it's a little bit difficult when you're in the toxic relationship to realize and accept that you're in one. So when you take a couple of steps back, then you're able to reevaluate everything and understand that you got to see that you're in one, and you have to accept that you're one and take good care of yourself. Step out of it and take good care of yourself. First off, guys, there's all sorts of abuse and disrespect that can happen in a toxic relationship. Usually it goes from physical, where they're hitting you. Then there's the verbal, where they're saying unpleasant words to you. Then we have the emotional. Basically, the way you feel is just distorted. Then we have the psychological, basically the thoughts of yourself, of the relationship is a little bit skewed just because of all of the emotional and all sorts of abuse that is happening in that toxic relationship. So I'm gonna start off here. So those are the, I guess, the umbrella of the different signs that you begin to notice when you're in the toxic relationship and realize that you're one, and take good care of yourself and step out of it. Before I even go ahead, I've seen where some ladies will be like, or men or women, it applies to both parties here, will be like, I'm gonna change that person. I can't change that person. I'm in love with that person. I can change that person. I want to tell you guys, when you're with a psychotic person, a crazy ass person, I'm telling you, if that person is not ready to change for themselves, if the person is not ready, willing, and able to change for themselves and for you, basically for you too in that relationship, there's no magic you are going to do that is going to make that person change. So people have that perception that, I'm going to make him change. I'm going to make him this. I'm going to make him that. My sister, my brother, the way you saw that person, you're just going to see different versions of that unveiling in the course of the relationship. There's really, if that person is not willing, ready, and able to change for themselves first, then for you too, there is no magic you're going to do that's going to make that person change. The person has to be ready, willing, and able. Please pick those keywords, because they need to be ready, willing, and able to change before any sort of change can happen. So there's no magic whatsoever that's going to make a man or a woman change from who they already are. It's just going to be different layers that are going to unveil itself in the course of the relationship, in the hopes that when things are unveiling, let it be for the better. That's the hopes when we're all in relationships, right? So yeah, that's one thing I just want to point out quickly. One of the things that you could see happen when you're in a toxic and unhealthy relationship is you're continuously begging for attention, care, love. You literally beg for everything. You're begging, babe, you didn't call me today. Oh babe, you didn't do this one. Oh babe, you didn't do that one. You're literally begging for everything. Communication is a little bit crooked. It can either be only one way rather than two-way communication. It might be that you're the only one willing to communicate, and the other party is not ready, willing, or looking to learn how to communicate. So communication is not great. Then under these two, in terms of you seeking all the love and attention and always begging for it, disrespectful patterns happening, whether that's in public or not in public. So things that you don't find great or you find disrespectful, you express that to your partner, and they don't want to understand that it's disrespectful. They basically just disregard that and continue to do what it is that they're doing, not considering the fact that whether that's hurting your feelings or not. So they continue to do what it is that they're doing. Then there's also trust under this too. When trust is broken, there's literally no relationship anymore. So maybe, I guess, cheating will fall under this too. There are people, unfortunately, who would cheat, and there's some that will lie about it, like lie the thing in your front and have a straight face and lie. And there's some that would basically tell you, yes, I did it, what are you going to do about it, you know? So all that is basically falls under emotional, psychological, verbal abuse, because they're literally telling you to your face that they've broken the bond you guys have, they've broken the trust that you guys have, and there's really zero to nothing that you can do about it, right? So these are signs that you're in a toxic relationship. Number two is a little bit interesting, because this one I particularly experienced this, where you begin to fight with loved ones around you because of the so-called partner of yours. So in my case, it was my sister, and I couldn't see the things that she was saying, that if she talks to me and she's trying to help me and be like, you're not, she'd be like, you're not the same person that you used to be. You're becoming a shadow of yourself. This is not the same essay that I know. Like when she's trying to express that to me, I begin to get upset, because in my head, I wasn't seeing any of those things that she was saying. My focus was just like trying to make sure that the relationship worked, trying to put in all the effort to make sure that the relationship works, trying to make her see my partner in a good light, when he really wasn't. No matter how much I paint and, you know, wash and whatever, it wasn't ever going to be seen in a good light, because that's not who he is. So it was basically who he is that she was saying, but I wasn't seeing it. So I began to like have arguments with her and literally fight with her, and she wouldn't give up. And she's like, this girl, your head, it must open, because I don't know what is inside your eyes that has blinded you, you know. So you see the pattern of you fighting with loved ones, so whether that's family or friends, you begin to fight with them because of the so-called partner of yours. Well, I'm glad I'm not in those anymore, because my sister and my husband are like literally best of friends right now. So that's one of the patterns to know that you're in an unhealthy and, you know, basically toxic relationship. Another thing is lack of self-care. So you begin to, you don't care too much, because you're too focused on that relationship that you don't have time for yourself. You're too focused on trying to make everything right. You're too focused on trying to get the attention that you're seeking. You're too focused on trying to, you know, make sure that everything is perfecto, that you forget to take care of you. You begin to like lose focus in other areas of your life, whether you're slacking at work or your spiritual life. Things just begin to go downwards, like, and you don't realize this in time, because it's a gradual process. It doesn't just happen boom. It happens like gradually, that you don't realize it. So you don't even, in most cases, you're not even aware it's happening until you take a step back and be like, shit, what is going on with me? What is going on? Before you actually like realize that, you know, something like that is happening. In some cases, they begin to curse you or beat you up and stuff like that. For me, that's a no-no. That's domestic violence. It's a no-no. Immediately that's happening, I don't think there's any kind of repentance for someone who begins to raise their hand at a woman or at a man or whatever the case might be. Domestic violence, in my opinion, is a no-no. So for me, that's a very clear evidence that you're in a toxic relationship. I think people mostly see the physical before they begin to see the emotional, psychological piece of, you know, toxicity, or being a toxic relationship, or abusive or unhealthy relationship. So that one for me is very clear. You can see it. And number 5, we've reached number 5 already. You're always hoping for change. You're always hoping that things will get better. You're praying and hoping for change. You're always the one starting conversations. You're always the one looking for resolutions. You're always the one looking to make peace. You're always the one taking head in everything. You're literally the one always. You're so scared that you begin to walk on eggshells, because if you talk too much, reverse psychology, they will turn the table around and it will be like it's you that started the problem. It's you that's the problem, rather than them being the problem. It's now you're now the focus, rather than trying to solve whatever the issue might be together as a couple or as partners, or whatever the relationship might be like. They turn it around and make it seem like it's you. So what I'm saying now can apply to romantic relationships or just friendship or whatever, right? But I guess it's typically geared towards romantic relationships. So they begin to turn the table around and you're walking on eggshells. By the time you start walking on eggshells, you don't feel like it's a safe space for you to express yourself or communicate. My sister, my brother, you should know it's very clear in that state that, you know, this is unhealthy for you. Like if you're not able to communicate freely, if you're not able to express yourself freely without feeling like you're walking on eggshells, or without feeling like, I'm going to offend him, he's going to turn it around to me, oh, and she's going to turn it around to me, then a toxic relationship. Because in those moments you're scared that whatever it is you might say can cause a fight, and when this fight happens, you find that you're the one begging. I remember there was a time back in the day when my ex then had called me a particular name that I didn't appreciate, and it had to do with like being fat and stuff like that. I didn't appreciate it, and I expressed my concern to that. And the next thing, in that moment, I made a feel, I say, yes, I have right, I should talk and say what it is that I don't like, you know, let me be the one to say what I don't like. And after a minute, after I finished ranting my own ranting, after a minute, he turned the table around, and I ended up begging for like a week pause for us to be able to talk. You see the mumu when I mumu that time. So the point of the situation is that in that moment, you don't realize it because you feel like you're so in love, and that they begin to use reverse psychology on you, then you end up now going through pain. Rather than you two, you know, resolving issues, you're now going through pain, you're now hurting yourself, which I find to be like really bad emotional abuse, because they are in this moment, they're messing with your head. I don't think any partner should be keeping malice for that long, or making you beg them for that long. What life is, there's too much in life, there's so much more to life than keeping malice and be looking for how to beg somebody. I don't have time for things like that. I'm glad that I had those experiences and I learned from it, and I'm able to share this information now so that someone can learn from this too. Irritation, resentment, it is a toxic relation. You go to beg, you tire. You go beg, beg, beg. 6, lack of support. You get little to no support. When you're trying, your opinions are not valued at all. They literally put you down in public and private, whatever the case might be. Instead of things going up in your life, things are going down. Instead of you guys putting heads together, you guys are butting heads. There's fights unnecessarily. It is unhealthy. When you're not with the right person, when our head no go ever jam, things will not go well. But when you're with the right person, you guys' head will meet. I say your grace and that person's grace will come together, and things will go well in your life when you're with the right person. I'm telling you guys. And this I can say with confidence, because with the right person and you guys put heads together, like your grace and that person's grace will basically turn your life around. Your partner doesn't encourage you, doesn't push you to become better, a better version of yourself in most cases, and you can't communicate about that with your partner just so they understand where they're slacking in, and you know, things like that, then in most cases that's probably not the best thing for you, because you don't want a situation where instead of feeling better with yourself, you're feeling worse with yourself. 7 is the one I like the most, because I experienced this too, which is denial. Denial that you're in a toxic relationship. When you begin to refuse to accept that you're in a toxic relationship because you can't see it, or because you're scared, you begin to think like, is there someone out there who's gonna love me? The devil that I know is better than the angel that I don't know. I think I can manage, maybe I can change him. I said it before, you can't change a man. You cannot change a man. You can't, especially if he's not willing, if he's not ready and able to change. You cannot change a man that is not willing to change for themselves first. So you begin to deny that you're in a toxic relationship. You don't just want to accept it. And in most cases, the reason is because of fear. You're scared of what people are going to say. You're scared of how you're gonna be after this relationship. What's your life gonna be like? You're so used to the relationship that you don't know what things are gonna be like after the relationship. You don't know if you're gonna find someone better. You're afraid of being single. People already know about it. But my sister, my brother, my darlings, the minute you begin to feel like this, then you know you're in a toxic relationship. The minute you begin to feel like, but I don't feel like somebody else will love me better, I'm scared. My sister, leave that relationship. Go and heal. Take a step back and heal. Heal, love yourself, do stuff for yourself so you can love again. So you can receive the love that you need, that you deserve, that is good for you. And let me tell you guys a couple things. For me, when I got out of that relationship, I took some time to heal. And not only did I learn lots from that relationship, I also worked on myself too, so that I could be a better version of myself. So take some time. Get out of that relationship. You don't want to keep suffering. Your mental health, your sanity is way better than all of this nonsense. Do you know if someone there is watching out for you, or has been, their eyes has been on you, but they did not know how to do it because you are with somebody else in a relationship you are not even enjoying? Some people will be in abusive relationships and they're so scared to get out of that relationship because they don't know what the other one is going to be like. I say in my own case, my husband was praying for my relationship. I should probably do how we met. Me and my husband should do how we met video. My husband was praying for my relationship to end with my ex. God bless my husband. He was watching from afar and watching me just pulling myself there. But as far as I'm concerned, it was experience, and I went to learn. I'm taking it as a good learning experience because I became a better version of myself when I got out of that, and became a better version of myself for my husband. And you know, we both have our individual experiences we bring from the past, and that's why there is no perfect human being out there. It's just two imperfect people coming together, complementing each other, and becoming perfect for each other. So guys, I'm hoping you can pick one or two things from what it is that I said and learn from it. There's just been too much going on these days. I've seen stories about Cha-Cha Ike. I don't know the real story, but you know, things have been going on. Lots of domestic violence, lots of people dying, bondages that they call relationship, lots of people that are in unhealthy, toxic, mentally draining relationships, and they don't know because they're so scared, or they even see the red flags but they're just so scared to accept those red flags, or they can't see because they're so blinded by this so-called love that they're in. Love is beautiful. Love is not pain. Love is beautiful, guys. When you're with the right person, you will enjoy love. You will be glowing. So, learn something from what it is that I've said today. There's no perfect human being, but when there's too many red flags like what it is I've mentioned, lack of communication, lack of trust, abuse in various forms, disrespect in various forms, denial, reverse psychology, mental abuse, my sister, my brother, take a step, reevaluate, and take care of you. Be selfish with yourself, with your sanity. Take care of you so you can be better and you can be prepared for the love that the good Lord is bringing for you. Pray. Prayer is key. Guys, I hope you've learned something. You've learned something from what it is I've said today. Lots of people who kind of know that they're in toxic and unhealthy relationships but do not want to accept it. There's some people who are silently dealing with it. There's some people who are speaking up but coming back in, speaking up and coming back in, just because of how these abusive partners have manipulated them and made them think that you're crazy. In some cases, people their mental health begins to depreciate because of being in a toxic relationship. Guys, it is unhealthy to be in a toxic relationship, and I really hope this helps someone out there. Learn. There's lots of signs to know, and when you begin to see these red flags, begin to pick on it, begin to address it. If your partner is someone who's willing to learn, then of course you can communicate and, you know, fix things. But if it's someone who's not ready to communicate, someone who's bringing you down, someone who has all the characteristics that I just previously mentioned, then my brother, my sister, you have to dip. Your mental health is more important than this so-called love in this toxic relationship. This is not love. When you experience love, you would know, because true love is not wicked like this. As far as I'm concerned, this is wickedness. But before I leave, I just want to say something that, remember, do not beg, do not force. What did I say? Do not beg, do not force. Just match energy. By the time you find yourself begging and forcing things to work, it's no longer authentic. It's no longer authentic. So guys, I hope you've learned one or two things today, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.